As a parent, are you looking to add to your repertoire of family films? Are you kind of maybe tired of the same old thing? I know I'm not a parent, but I used to drive my mom nuts when I would watch the same movies over and over and over. So I thought I'd make this video detailing 5 really fun family films that are really enjoyable for the whole family, but they also have elements of adultness to them to where they're equally enjoyable for adults, at least in my opinion. Let's start things off with the first one on the list. If you are a family that loves watching I Love Lucy reruns together and things of that sort, then this will probably be right up your alley. This is The Long, Long Trailer. This film starred Lucille Ball and Desi Arnaz. It's about a newly married couple. The husband travels for work, and the wife, played by Lucille Ball, does not want to live out of motels and hotels. She's just so upset that she can't make a home for her new husband, so she talks him into buying a trailer. She decides that they can travel everywhere together, and wherever he has to work, that will be their home. They'll just put down stakes and put the jack up, and that'll be their home. And she doesn't realize the hilarious chain of events that are going to follow. They buy the trailer, and because it's so big, they have to get a bigger car, and they have to get a hitch for the car, and all these things. They have to get, I think, a license, all kinds of things that they were not planning on. And it's just hilarious. It is a lot of fun, a ton of slapstick comedy. There's a lot of really good scenery. The set was really good. I love how they put up the set of the interior of the trailer. It's really, really cozy. And what adds to the humor is that they are basically inaugurating the use of this trailer on their honeymoon. That is what they're doing. They're starting out, they're not going to a hotel or anything. They're traveling through the country. And so they're having to learn all this trailer stuff on their honeymoon. And it just added to the humor because they have never done this before. They're very citified people. So this was just a really fun movie, and I definitely recommend it for adults and children. It's in color, which is also helpful for kids if they are like, oh, I don't know if I want to watch something old. So, you know. The second one on the list I have is The Great Race. This is a zany race around the world film. It is fantastically proportioned. It is, like I said, really crazy, really wacky. The race around the world utilizes all kinds of crazy vehicles and modes of transportation. It stars Tony Curtis and Natalie Wood and one of my very favorite comedians, Jack Lemmon. This is a really good introduction if you want your kids to get into Jack Lemmon's stuff. He was hysterical in this. He plays the villain of the film, and he's got this mustache, you know, that he's always twirling, and this black suit and black hat, and his name is Professor Fate, and he's always trying to put a wrench in the works through the whole race. He keeps dropping in and trying to derail Tony Curtis's character, who plays like this perfect, unflappable man in white. He wears a white suit, and he's always he's always able to beat Professor Fate. And Professor Fate is completely inept, as is his crazy sidekick, played by Peter Falk of Columbo fame and The Princess Bride. It should keep kids pretty engaged. It's long, but it's pretty quick. And if you like kind of around the world in 80 days vibes, races for treasure vibes, then this is probably for you. They go through the Wild West. They go through Russia. They go through Paris. I think they might have even visited Antarctica at one point. It's just really wild. Also, the music is really good. It was done by Henry Mancini, who also did the wonderful music in Breakfast at Tiffany's, Moon River. He also did Days of Wine and Roses. Very well-known musician. Won an Academy Award, I believe, for Days of Wine and Roses. That's gorgeous song, one of my favorite songs of all time. And this isn't quite up to that elevated level, but it is really enjoyable and really pretty, and it does match the vibe. It brings out the feeling that it wants you to have about the movie. So I recommend this one. Third up, we have Houseboat, starring Cary Grant and Sophia Loren. This is kind of a peaceful, cozy, kind of camping out on the water, Parent Trap type vibe. It's about a widower who has been an absentee father, and while he and his wife were in the midst of a divorce, his wife died. So he comes home and decides that he's going to try to be a father after all. He's going to be Father of the Year, and he takes these kids on, but he's not really sure what he's doing. And he ends up buying or renting a houseboat out on a lake. He also ends up hiring this woman who's actually pretty rich. She's had everything pretty easy, and he hires her to be his maid, not knowing that she has a privileged background. So she doesn't know how to make coffee, she doesn't know how to make eggs, but she loves the kids and she really enjoys spending time with them and teaching them Italian phrases and fishing with them. And of course, this lady is played by Sophia Loren. So it's all about his failures as a parent and then his successes and them learning to get along again. They're learning who their father is after not knowing him very much at all, and he is learning how to relate to children, his own children especially. It's a lot of fun. I would think that the whole family would pretty much enjoy it. It has good music, some comedy, and I love it because it's not dirty in any way, but it does have adult themes. So you're able to kind of laugh about the awkwardness that Cary Grant and Sophia Loren find themselves in and the innocence of the children in that situation. They're not seeing any chemistry going on there or anything like that. They're completely oblivious to it. So overall, great summer flick. Like I said, it's a lot like The Parent Trap in that way. It's out on the water. It makes you kind of want to go out and get in a boat and maybe have a barbecue and some tea on the porch. It's very, very airy that way, and I recommend it. Number 4 is With Six You Get Egg Roll. This is also a great, again, a merging of families like The Parent Trap, Houseboat, starring Doris Day and Brian Keith. It's about a widow and a widower who each have children of their own, and they fall in love and they decide to get married, and they're trying to blend their families, and of course the chaos that ensues with that. I love Doris Day. I love all her films. She was a really good actress and she was really classy in her parts. I love the sets. For some reason, all of Doris Day's sets, at least her comedies, have this colorful, vibrant, engaging quality, and I get so many design ideas from her. And this is no exception. This is a really bright, cheerful family film. It's in the late 60s, I believe, so you've got the hippies of the era and the children deciding that they're, more educated than their parents and more liberal, and it's a really good film. And also a young Barbara Hershey stars in this. I think it was one of her very first parts. She was very young. And the last one on the list is probably the most adult of all of them. Not to say that children wouldn't enjoy it, because I loved it as a little girl. I grew up watching this over and over and over. And I suspect that it would be even more well received if you have boys. This movie is called The Cowboys. It was done in 1972 and starred John Wayne, Robert Carradine, A. Martinez, Slim Pickens. I can't remember. I think it was Roscoe Brown. Anyway, this is a really good Western about an older man who is trying to move his cattle from, I believe it was Texas to Montana, Belfouche, Montana. And he can't get any help. So he decides to hire a bunch of young men. Now, these young men are probably anywhere from 6 to 16 years old, I'm guessing. And he decides to train them. So he's just going to teach them the ropes, and he just dives in with all fours. And it's about their coming of age. It is such a good movie about proving yourself, healthy masculinity, honor, courage, seeing a job through. It is so good, and it's funny. It is so funny in parts. It's also very sad in parts. It's got everything. The scenery was gorgeous. The music is amazing. The music was done by John Williams, who, if you're not familiar with him, he also did the music for Star Wars and E.T., I believe, and Jaws. So he was very well known in the film industry. And the music that he does is so perfect for this. It brings out the adventure in you. It really brings across the Western vibe that he wants you to feel. It really sweeps you up into the movie. And also, it features a bone-chilling performance by Bruce Dern. He plays the villain. If you know anything about Bruce Dern, you know he's almost always the villain, and he's wonderful at it. And I personally think, and I haven't seen all of his stuff, but I think this is the best performance of his that I have ever seen. This man gives you chills. Now, I'm not saying, like I said, that this is inappropriate for children. I think you can use your own best judgment on this, how strong-minded they are. Every child is different. Like I said, I watched this movie I can't even remember the first time I watched it. I just grew up watching it as a young child, and it never gave me nightmares or anything. But you're just so, oh my gosh, you're so swept into his performance. He plays a creep that is basically hunting down John Wayne and his boys and trying to get the herd away from him so that he can cash it in. It culminates in a wonderful confrontation. I'm not going to tell you anymore. One of these days I'm going to have to do a review just on this film. It is that good. So there you have it. There are 5 really great family fun films. If you are tired of the same old and you are looking to introduce some fresh material into your family's repertoire. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please consider giving it a like and maybe subscribing if you like to talk about old films, because I sure do, and that's why I'm here. Okay, thanks guys. Bye.